Welcome back to the Sibling Group Chat. I'm Owen.
And I'm Cassidy.
And today we are back at it with the Odyssey review, episode 28, covering Honor Thy Parents.
Yes, this was the 30th episode of Adventures in Odyssey, and it originally aired on June 11th, 1988. And it is part of the Lost Episode collection. We've discussed those from time to time, so you should know what they are by now. And in this episode, Whit gives Laura Fremont an opportunity to see her parents in a new light. And our themes are conflict and respecting parents.
Yeah. You know how, just in our last episode, I was talking about how Odyssey starts to hit a stride here? Yeah, the lost episodes do not count as part of that stride.
No, one step forward, two steps backwards. Yeah. The only thing I like about this episode is that it was the first episode with the voice of Donna Barkley, and she's not even in it a whole lot.
I didn't even notice that.
No, I guess I'll point her out when we get to her, I guess.
My favorite thing about the episode happened in the first 5 seconds of Chris's intro, so...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to what the intro was about, but... one of my least favorite things in the episode is, first of all, Chris was at Greenway's department store in the...
Yeah, I caught that too. I had even typed it in my notes as Greenblatt's, and then she said it again, and I was like, Greenway?
Yeah.
It's Greenblatt. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bothered me. But then, in that store, when she talks to the guy there, it's the first time we ever get to hear the, yes?
I wonder if they were going to make this a bit that they only did, as far as I know, one other time, because they do it with the bank teller when she's at the bank quite a few episodes later. I think that's in album 4 that there's that episode that she goes to the bank and the teller is like, yes.
I mean, they do use that, but not in Chris's intro at other times.
That's true. Yeah, do they do that
at the train,
guy at the train station? Yeah.
And I feel like there's at least one other one, maybe.
But yeah, the intro was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's basically about Chris looking for a gift for her parents.
Yeah, and when she gets to the parents' gift aisle, because, every store has a parents' gifts aisle, then all of a sudden there's a special on parents' gifts, and there's a mad dash to the aisle.
Yeah. And basically her premise is that today we're going to learn about a gift that doesn't cost anything, which is honoring your parents.
Yep.
Yeah, so the episode starts with a couple kids, both girls, whose names I did not catch right at the beginning. I assumed they were said.
They weren't. I noted this.
I thought I was not paying attention.
No, their names were not said throughout the entire first scene.
Okay, I'm not making it up.
It's a big no-no in storytelling, I feel like.
This is like audio storytelling, because there's no way, we don't have any other context.
No, especially this is where the girls' voices are Robin and Donna.
Okay.
Robin is the daughter of the parents. Donna is her friend. So later in Odyssey, when we have recurring characters and we know these people pretty well, then it might be okay to not say a name. But even, I feel like in general, we always get people's names pretty early on, just to seal with the listener who it is.
It honestly partially turned me off just immediately, but I was confused immediately too. Because, I assumed that they said their names and I just didn't catch it because I wasn't paying close enough attention. But I'm glad that I actually there was no name.
Yeah, so in my notes for a little bit, I was referring to them as Robin and Donna because I didn't know their names. But yeah, their names, we find out later their names are Laura and Kelly.
Yeah. I was confused.
They do, though. They go to Odyssey Academy. So Odyssey Academy is back for another episode. Yeah.
And you have the lost episodes and you have the lost schools.
Yep.
Or just the lost singular school. But so anyway, these two girls just got out of school on their last day of 6th grade. And they're talking about girl number 1, I guess, because we don't know their names yet.
We need to find out later. It's Laura. So.
Yeah. Laura is talking about a graduation party she's planning for 6th grade. Who has a party celebrating graduation from 6th grade? That's what I want to know.
I mean, this episode makes Odyssey Academy feel like a very preppy private school. So maybe at preppy private schools, you have graduation parties in 6th grade.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like kindergarten and then senior in high school and then maybe somewhat in middle school. So I guess you could say 6th grade.
Yeah.
But generally, if you count 6th grade as middle school, it's the beginning, not the end. And you don't.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I
it's
thought
the end of elementary school here. Yeah, I agree. It was weird. I was trying to come up with something.
So the girl's having the party. So Laura tells, what's her friend's name? Kelly?
Kelly, yeah.
That her friends aren't, or not her friends aren't coming. Her parents aren't coming to the party. Because Kelly says that she's never even met Laura's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the impression they were like still in the school, but I'm kind of thinking that they were somewhere else. I don't know.
I think this whole thing was them walking outside the school, because I think when the end of the bell went off, the kids were leaving the school building because Chris was outside. So I think we were already outside with Chris, and then the girls came outside.
But anyway, they overhear an argument between a boss and the worker. We still have no names, no context. They just listen and hear this guy get yelled at. And so, yeah, I even have in my notes right here, I am so confused at this point. I literally wrote down, I am very confused at this point.
Yeah, there was not enough context clues for you to paint a good visual image of what is going on. Yeah, because I almost got the feeling that they walked by an open window and heard this argument, which doesn't make any sense. I think these men were outside.
Yeah.
But
and like you said, we have no context. We have, to this point, 4 characters and no names or context. All we know is that the girls just finished 6th grade. And
somebody's in trouble.
Yeah.
I wonder, I feel like the writers have done so well, or relatively well so far, how they missed this in this episode, and if that has to do with why it was removed, it just feels off.
Yeah. I mean, the whole story wasn't great, so I feel like it could have gotten removed anyway. But
I believe it did get removed.
Context in my scene is completely, if we weren't reviewing this, I don't think I would have listened longer than 2 minutes.
No. I did one thing about this, with them overhearing the men arguing. I went, is that Bernard? And later, the men come back and you find out it is Dave Madden who's the voice of Bernard. But first time ever hearing from him, and much before we have Bernard Walton.
Right. And we'll hear from him in the first non-Lost episode in just a couple episodes, or maybe it's the next episode, I don't know.
I believe it's the next one,
Next episode with the family vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah. I did enjoy the voice, but I was still confused.
I know. It's like we were all confused, no names, and then all of a sudden you hear Bernard, which almost makes it even more confusing because you're not expecting to hear him.
He does not exist yet.
No. Yeah, we finally make it through that confusing scene.
And we're really still confused as we open the second scene because it's just Whit reading the story of Elijah out loud to himself.
At Whit's End.
At Whit's End, presumably at the front counter.
Yeah, and why that story? It's such a random spot in Elijah for him to be reading.
I didn't even catch, what part was he reading?
I feel like it's a part about, the God is in the whirlwind. The still small voice.
Okay, I don't know.
I think that's what
it would have made more sense if he just happened to be reading
Ephesians 6.
Honor your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. And it honestly doesn't get any less weird.
No, because he's interrupted by this woman who does get a name, although I couldn't quite tell what it was at first. I couldn't tell. Her name is, I believe, Eula?
It's Eula, but at first I thought it was Beulah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had Beulah for a while, but later I could tell it was definitely Eula.
I did originally, then I switched it. But she came through the back door because she didn't want to come in the front door.
Yeah. She felt like her work clothes were too dirty.
I think, yeah.
To come in the front door, I think. But also, to skip ahead slightly, Maybe she didn't want her daughter to know she was coming.
Right.
But the parents don't know that their daughter is embarrassed by them to skip ahead even more. So I don't know.
She comes in to see how preparations for the party is going on. So at this point, we're still very confused. Why does this random lady need to know about this party? And why does Whit assume that she would know more about it than she does? And it's so lost. We find out this lady is Laura's mother. We don't know who Laura is yet, but if you piece it together, you can start to piece together that this lady is Laura's mother. Laura is the girl who's throwing the party from the first scene. And so it's starting to come into focus, but still blurry. But so we start to get a little bit of context about Laura. It seems that she's very distant from her parents. She interacts with them as little as possible. She's at home as little as possible.
And I think this has all happened since she started going to Odyssey Academy, right?
I get that impression. Or, yeah. Because as we found in the episode, it's basically that she doesn't want her friends to see her parents ever, so she's just never at home.
Yeah. Yeah. And her parents are like working extra to be able to pay for her to go to this nice school.
Yeah. So then Laura and Kelly come in. We still haven't named Kelly yet, but we find out.
Did the dad come in before they did or not?
No. She doesn't. Okay. He doesn't. I don't think so. Yeah, Laura and Kelly come in and see Laura's mother. Laura's not happy that her mother is there. And then her father comes in, who Kelly realizes... I think Kelly got introduced right in between there. Kelly realizes that Laura's dad was the one who was getting yelled at by the boss from the first scene.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like a unscramble a sentence problem. Like,
it's like a run-on sentence.
But I have to arrange them to make them make sense.
Yeah. It's like we're having to tell parts of the story out of order to just make our storytelling go faster.
Right. So, it would seem to us that Laura doesn't interact with her parents, and obviously Kelly's never met them, and it's because Laura is ashamed of them or they embarrass her.
Yeah.
They talk...
And they're very country sounding.
Yeah. They're a little bit Tom Riley-esque, but not, maybe a little bit further country almost.
Yeah, I'd say that. A skosh past Tom Riley.
Yeah. But they seem to know Whit pretty well.
Mm-hmm. They seem like very nice people, just country.
Uh-huh. And it doesn't seem like they're like poor or anything either. It seems like they're not like raking in dough or anything, but like her parents have jobs and they just they work a little extra just so she can go to Odyssey Academy, but like
I will say I felt like as the episode went on, I realized they were better off than I thought they were in this first scene.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Like, I never thought they were dirt poor, but I realized they have more money than I felt like they did at first.
It was almost, and again, this is getting ahead of ourselves, that they lived a little bit below their means because of what they did.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I think that's what it is, yeah.
But basically they kind of have a little bit of an argument. Laura's not happy that they're there. And we quickly end up with Laura saying that sometimes she wished she had never been born into that family.
Yeah. And then
that's the end of this.
It escalated very quickly, and then that's the end of this scene, and then Chris leads us out, and when Chris comes back in, she says, and now the conclusion of today's adventure. And we're less than halfway through, and that's including the opening sketch.
Yeah, wasn't it it was like 6.5 minutes in, wasn't it?
It might have been a little more, I can't remember, I looked at the time, I don't remember what it was, but it was less than half.
Yeah.
Especially if you include the long skit. I was like, Chris... We're not even close to the conclusion of today's adventure, unfortunately.
I just figured out who all the characters were.
Yeah. I guess if there was only one commercial break, she just meant the conclusion as in the rest, but I was like, we're not at the conclusion yet.
And now we will explain today's adventures in Odyssey.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so probably should note, although not overly important to the storylines, that Laura's parents call her Laura Jean all the time, even though she prefers just Laura.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, when we come back, the story doesn't get any more clear.
No, because we're in the next day. We have no context of what happened the rest of that day. Laura comes into Whit's End to apologize to Whit for the scene there, and Whit says that he's not really...
No. Well, it opens with Whit on the phone.
It does? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't even understand. I didn't even catch who he was talking to. I think we find out it was the boss later.
Yeah, but we don't know that here.
Yeah, we don't know that there. And then it also implies that he knew Laura was coming at that time.
Yeah.
Because the guy he was talking to had to get there at that time. Like, he knew when Laura was coming because he was talking to somebody who needed to come talk to Laura.
Yeah, but we don't know who this person is. And it almost seems like this person has never been to Odyssey before. Yeah. Because I feel like Odyssey is a small enough town.
The big building.
The big multicolored building with a sign that says Whit's End. I don't think it's a big enough town that somebody who works in the town wouldn't know at least where McAllister Park was.
Right. And I don't think there's... I always got the impression Whit's End was the only building in McAllister
in Park. The park? Yeah. How many buildings are in parks?
Yeah, like, I mean, you have a lot of buildings, it's no longer a park.
No. Yeah, but I've never thought of it as multicolored. I mean, I get it is in drawings.
Colorful. I mean, you've watched some of the animated series, right?
I have watched some of it, and yeah, I have seen it depicted, and I get in the pictures it's kind of colorful.
I don't necessarily...
I don't picture it
quite like that in my head, but like you kind of get a little bit of an idea of that. Do you ever wonder, like in a lot of the drawings or in the animated series, there's like a giant like glass greenhouse part of it. Like, what happens in there?
Yeah, I know. Well, I feel like I thought I had heard some people explain that only exists in the animated series canon, but I just started reading the Blackbird books this weekend. And he included, Phil Lawler, who wrote the books, included it in his description of the building. So like, but you have to explain it then. Why are we going to keep pretending it exists and never explain it? I don't know.
And he wonders why we always have questions on the fan hangout.
I know. Phil, please answer our questions. But honestly, back to... like how we picture Whit's End. In my head, Whit's End is only a Victorian building when it's crucial to the episode. It doesn't look like that in my head most of the time. And then you get to the few episodes where they describe it as an old Victorian house, and then it becomes a Victorian house in my head, and then that part goes away.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. But so, yeah, Whit gets off the phone with this mystery person who we don't know why he was calling them. Originally, I almost thought that Laura had, like, stormed out and, like, gone missing or something.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Like, he was on the phone with the police or something.
But no, Laura comes in to Whit's End and apologizes to Mr. Whitaker for the previous day, and Whit says that she really didn't need to apologize to him. And she's like, well, I already apologized to Kelly. I spent the night at her house. So she apparently never even went home the night before. Mm-hmm. And Whit says that that's also not who she's supposed to be apologizing to. And she can't think of a reason why she would need to apologize to her parents because they showed up at Whit's End and she didn't want them to. And they embarrass her. Like, if anything, they should be apologizing to her, basically.
Yeah, that's at this point that she calls her parents Hicks.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Whitaker says, I think they're charming. Where it's almost like he doesn't quite disagree with her, just maybe her choice of words.
Right. But then she says something about wanting to know why her dad was getting yelled at the day before as well. And then it's like, well, why don't you turn around? His boss is standing right behind you.
Yeah, did we hear the guy come in?
I don't know if we did or not. Yeah. If we did, it's not like you thought, oh, it's probably someone to talk to Laura. Like, occasionally you'll just hear people come in and out of Whit's End.
Yeah. Yep. But all of a sudden, his boss, Mr. Heath, is behind her.
And we really don't get much context as to what happened other than the fact that he thought it was her dad's fault and it wasn't. So he yelled at him, realized it wasn't, and apologized to him.
Yeah, it's like he was under a lot of stress from his boss, and so that's why he was short-tempered with his employee, and do you feel like it's good that Laura found out the truth, but do you think it really needed to get to the point where Whit called this man that he might not have even known and was like, hey, I need you to just run over to Whit's End real quick and explain to this 10-year-old what just happened?
Yeah, and I missed, did Laura tell her dad when they had all been in Whit's End the day before that they had seen him getting yelled at?
I think so,
Okay.
because Kelly obviously knew, so yeah. I feel like it came up.
I don't know. This episode was so confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, she finds out it wasn't really her dad's fault, and then Mr. Heath is like, see ya, did what I came to do.
Yeah. And then she, is, fine with that, but she still doesn't understand why her parents have to be the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's partially like how we mentioned earlier, I was like, she doesn't understand why they live, why their standard of living is maybe less than it could be. Or, she mentions her mother choosing to dress in the work dress she had been wearing the day before, even though she has better clothes.
Yeah. And if you think of, so Laura's been going to this, what I imagine is this really nice upscale private school. Mm-hmm. She probably feels like her parents aren't as, refined or posh as some of her friends' parents.
Right. But I also kind of wonder how Laura ended up being so,
snooty.
Yeah, she's nothing like her parents.
No, I don't want to blame it all on the school, because I don't think her parents would send her to a school that would change her that negatively.
No, and I mean, it's not like she has, there's nothing wrong other than that she doesn't like her parents, but I feel like the not liking her parents, I feel like, does come more from her interactions with people at school, but it's not the school's fault, it just happened because she realized that they were different. I was more curious, she obviously grew up being less country, she didn't have the twang or anything than them, unless she just really forced herself to stop talking like that.
Yeah, I don't know. She is very, very different from them, so I don't know how that all happened.
But regardless, she still doesn't understand why her parents are like that, so Whit takes her to the mission house, which is where I think we heard her mother mention that she had come from there the day before.
Yeah.
But so this is one of those episodes where there's a population of homeless people in Odyssey that necessitates
a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe it's out towards Foster Creek, Right,
yeah. Maybe a little closer to Connellsville. Sometimes Connellsville has more.
Yeah, because Connellsville has Oswald Heights, and that's, their bad part of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually Odyssey merges into this part of Odyssey, Foster Creek, and then there's a mission house, and then you merge into Oswald Heights, and then you're in Connellsville.
Yes.
I don't know. But yeah, it is weird to think, there's not, I don't generally feel like there's a homeless population in Odyssey.
Maybe. It takes people so long to get to Connellsville because they go around.
They don't want to go through a sketchy town. And that's why it's so far away.
So if you go through the bad parts of the towns, it only takes 15, 20 minutes. If you go on normal roads, it takes 45 minutes to an hour.
That's a big roundabout.
Yeah,
but,
it really doesn't make sense.
No. It's not a bad theory. I think there's some weak points, but not bad.
I'm just trying to figure out reasons why Connellsville moves, so.
Yeah. Well, Odyssey seems to have a pretty large prison, too. We find out later.
Yeah.
With, the Myers dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a sketchier town than we think it is.
If we go down rabbit trails, it'll make a confusing story 10 times more confusing for the people who didn't listen to it.
Yeah, that's true. And don't bother, honestly.
Yeah, if you don't need to, it's fine. If I've learned anything, it's really that the lost episodes were lost
for a reason. Yeah. I see why they did this.
But anyway, they go to the mission's house that her mother and father apparently started. And this is where, if you're listening, you kind of start to realize that her parents are not as poor as you maybe thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother still comes in every day. They meet a man named Owen. Phenomenal name, by the way.
I know, but how did you write it in your notes? Because I spelled it with an E.
So did I.
I just assumed it was spelled with an E.
You can't expect other people to spell it correctly, but you can still appreciate a strong name.
Yeah, yep. Owen, voiced by Chuck Bolte.
Yes. The Wit had known him for a while, apparently. But Owen had lived on the streets for a while before he got brought to the missions house or something. Anyway, he has a job now thanks to Laura's parents. And then they also meet another lady who they help as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then so within meeting those two people, Laura instantly realizes that her parents are not all that bad and decides that she needs to not only apologize to them, but needs to do something else because apologizing doesn't seem like enough. And so Wit apparently was planning this the entire time because he's like, I have an idea. Come with me. We got to hurry up.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have taken that much work other than inviting more people to change her graduation party into a "my parents are awesome" party.
Yeah, which is what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wit mentions, I should say, the kind of point of the whole episode. He says, like, it's biblical that we don't respect our parents. We respect our parents because the Bible says to respect them, and because they're our parents, it shouldn't matter what their personalities are like if we have different interests than them. In fact, it's not bad to have different interests than your parents, but you should still respect them.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, they turn her graduation party into a celebration for her parents. Her parents can't believe it. She apologizes to them. They have a party, and she says she wants to spend more time with them. She also says that she would like to go by Laura Jean.
I like it. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Laura Jean.
Chris's outro was really less than normal. I almost felt like it's like a short recap, like honor your parents.
I didn't even write anything down. I don't remember what she said.
Well, I was like getting ready to like see if she said anything extra, and before I even like heard anything, it was done. This episode was written by
yeah. Yeah. I have to say though, even if Laura's parents didn't want a lot of people to know they started this missions house, like they didn't want a whole lot of praise from it, you'd think they still would have told their daughter.
Right?
Because, and also, like, the lady told her she had been there before when she was too little to now remember.
Well, and it also seemed like that they took her there until she was probably 3 or 4, like the age where you have, like, vague memories, because she said when they brought her there that she, like, thought she kind of had been there before.
Yeah. But yeah, why keep it a secret from your own daughter? If you want to raise a child with the compassion that it takes to, like, I would assume they would want some of that to rub off on her.
Yeah, like,
why would you not tell her about it?
But her mother wears that work dress all the time because she said if she dressed more nicely, she said she felt like it would hurt the people there. It's like hurt their feelings or make them feel like inferior.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if I had written this story, or like it wouldn't be this story, but if I was writing this family, they would be teaching Laura, like Laura would be working with them at the shelter, and like, yeah, I just felt weird. Like, why would they keep it a secret from her?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. One funny thing, I don't even remember when he says it, because I have it in my notes. I think the dad says it. It says, never wrestle with the pig. You both get dirty. And the pig likes it. Who else says that later in Odyssey? Someone else says it.
I think Jimmy says something like that on his radio show.
Oh, that's what it is. It's on Jimmy's radio.
After Jimmy gets the Jimmy Barkley show back, like after he learns his lesson because of crying Brian Dern, the clip we hear of him doing his show again is him saying that joke.
Yeah.
And saying, like, never wrestle with a pig. And the pig likes it.
Pig likes it. Yeah. I don't remember why the dad said it, but when he said it, I was like, I've heard this before.
It made sense. I was really confused, actually, but I didn't even think about it. But yeah, Jimmy does say that.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Jimmy Barkley show on KYDS Kids Radio.
Yeah. I'm thankful to say this is our last Lost episode for almost 15 episodes. Yeah, happy dance. Yeah.
after we get through all the lost episodes, I am never listening to any of them again.
No, I think there might be some slightly better ones coming later because we do not finish the lost episodes until the 500th episode because there's like a 500 episode look back in that one. So I think there's a few towards the end that are more like reminiscent that they were cool at the time they made them, but you didn't need to hear it over and over again.
Yeah.
So there might be some better ones coming, but
the
I'm kind of ready.
Reason I think I would listen to any of the lost episodes that we have lost so far is just to laugh at the rap from Lights Out at Wit's End.
That's not a lost episode. That's an Officer Harley episode. Which, had they not got rid of Officer Harley, I think they still would have lost that episode. But yeah,
I would listen to a few minutes of that just to be like, what in the world?
I know. Yeah, it was.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of any lost episodes that I felt like I needed to hear again. There were a couple of Officer Harley episodes. I don't remember. There was at least one where I was like, that was a good episode.
Yeah, well, I
mean, there weren't many, but I think there was at least one that I was like, I don't.
Yeah, well, even just the last one, Harley Takes the Case, it got redone, and when they get redone, it's hard to like them because you just like the redone version better.
Yeah.
But that one
there was one that didn't get redone. It was one of the first couple. It was the first one that we listened to that I thought got removed solely because of Harley, not because of the story. I don't remember.
Doing Unto Others?
Maybe. It was the one with Big Bargain Bill, I think.
That was Doing Unto Others, where they got with the TV, and Wit's like, I have a TV addiction.
That was a good one. I liked that episode.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
But yeah.
But
I'm definitely glad that we're done with lost episodes for a while, and looking ahead, I am excited for what we've got coming up next.
Yeah, we're finally, mostly because we're not hitting all these extra episodes that make us feel like we fall out of normal Odyssey, but we really are hitting our stride. Next week, we are starting album 2 with a 2-parter, Family Vacation, parts 1 and 2, which is very exciting because we meet the Barclays for the first time. And yeah, we're starting album 2, which is now called The Wildest Summer Ever, but our CD set is called Stormy Weather. So I might need to do some research before we record next to find out why they changed the name of the album.
And I'd just like to point out, because we had the Stormy Weather album too for a long time, and somehow we ended up with a second album too after it got changed. We gave it to
somebody bought it for us.
Okay.
Like somebody wanted to give us an Odyssey thing, and they gave us one we already had.
Yeah. Well, we have the Stormy Weather one, and they had given us. I think that's how we ended up figuring out that happened. But I don't think we really cared at the time.
No.
But yeah,
I think it fit because Stormy Weather makes the whole album in general seem much darker, where there are some dark parts. But in general, it's just kind of fun, crazy summer stuff. So
I mean, I don't think there's really any dark episodes. I don't know. I mean, it's not like there's like the secret room or anything in that
one. No. If you leave out disc 4, it's pretty fine.
Is that the one? Is that the Last Great Adventure of the Summer too?
And the secret room. Or I think the Last Great Adventure of the Summer might be on disc 3, and then disc 4 is a secret room, and then the Return to the Bible room, which is the one with Jonah that I hardly have ever listened to because you have to get through the secret room to get to it.
You know, I listened to that one not too long ago. I think because I was randomly generating Odyssey, like you know, you can like hit it and it'll just throw one. I listened to it a couple like a week or two ago, and I was like, I have not heard this episode, maybe ever.
Yeah, because it's right after the secret room, so you don't listen to it.
Yeah, so it could be fun getting into some Odyssey that we are more familiar with. Yeah, looking forward to it. Any final thoughts on our lost episode today?
Nope, I think I'm just glad to be done with it.
Yeah, me too. I think if by chance you love to be confused, would recommend.
Yeah.
But
I will say,
would not recommend.
I should say the lesson they're trying to teach is a very good and important one.
Yeah.
You do need to respect and honor your parents.
I feel like the general idea had potential. It just the execution was the most confusing thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, the story they were telling was good. Their storytelling was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that about wraps it up. As we already said, next week's will be Family Vacation. And we look forward to it. So follow us on our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, at Sibling Group Chat. Subscribe wherever you get the podcast, and we will see you next time.
Yep, bye.